Hello, World of Tank Blizzards. It's Littlefinger, and I've got a new tank in my garage, the Tiger 131. This is a Tier 6 German heavy tank, and this is an actual replica of a tank captured in World War II in Tunisia, the only working Tiger in the world today. But how did I get it? Well, you can read here about the Scorpion lockboxes that is going on as an event right now. And what's happening is if you come into your containers, you will get crates for winning battles at tier 5 through 10. A little bit different for wargaming. Instead of buying crates, now you have to, let's go to bundles, you have to actually buy keys to unlock them. So I have, in all honesty, I have spent 20 bucks and unlocked 10 crates, and I think I was quite fortunate. If we go up back to the storage here, you will see here. So I've received 120 certificates for the Tiger 131, which obviously I was able to convert into the tank, and then 55 for the E25. I was also extremely lucky in that I did get the Scorpion, which only has a 5% drop. I already had it, so it was like 3,300 gold. So it really hasn't turned out to be that bad of an event for me, but it seems to me that most of the certificates coming out are for this Tiger 131. So let's just run through real quick the setup. Consumables, repair kit, multi-purpose, adrenaline, provisions, running chocolate, improved fuel, and then standard fuel. Tank was a bit sluggish, which is why I didn't go with the chocolate bar. I went with additional fuel. Tons of ammo room in this tank, so I'm 40, 20, and 15 with APCR being your premium. Make sure you're buying that here with credits. And then as far as equipment, calibrated shells. Pen on this is not great. Improved modules, improved optics, enhanced gun lane drive, enhanced armor, engine accelerator, and refined gun. Alright guys, as we get started here on Oasis Palm as the first game top tier supremacy, I do want to talk a little bit about the armor on this tank. And as you can see here, you've got a lot of green on the front. This is 100 millimeters on the front, and it is perpendicular straight up and down, completely flat. You've got 80 mil here on the sides, but this tank does work well if you can get it into a nice side scraping position, which we're going to show you here as we come into B on Oasis Palms. So as long as you're not over angled here, you can see you can keep that side nice and red. This is against a tier 8 Panther. If I change it real quick, here is against a tier 5 tank, and you can see here we can get a little bit of red. My advice is, try to keep playing this tank by shooting it off the front, or the front corners basically. It's gonna where you're gonna be maximizing out the armor on this tank. And so you can see here we're using the building as cover. We've already blocked 560 in damage. And, just trying to keep these guys spotted up. Just trying to hold them in place. And here we go. We start getting a little bit into the pen. This is obviously a tier 6 Churchill. So APCR is needed. The slight downside, in my opinion, to this tank is the pen numbers are on the lower side. So you've got 145 mil of pen in your AP, and that goes up to 195 with APCR. Average damage is 220 per shot. So you can see here we are just doing our best to side scrape and conserve our hit points. Now I noticed now we're up 2 tanks, and that Churchill's gone behind the dunes there, so I want to try to push in and see if we can do some damage. And this is actually some real bad play on my part, as I let that VK, I believe it is, go past me. I've got an M6 wide open there. I missed that shot. Finally back up enough to get a track shot into him. But certainly wasted time there by not getting a couple shots in earlier. Churchill has come around the side of the dunes. At this point, I'm willing to give him one more shot just so I can finish him off. Needs to be a PCR. You know, not a really great game as far as damage or excitement or anything like that, but it does go to show you just how you can side scrape with this tank and maximize the side armor to your advantage. When I'm one-on-one with somebody, I do wiggle side to side, making it a little bit more difficult to hit the flat armor part. But we go ahead and finish off the Leo there for our 4th kill. And we look at that 23,000 credits. You know, not great for tier 6 premium, but obviously we did have to shoot a lot of APCR. Alright guys, so I've got this battle here. Just to reiterate, just the angling of this, trying to keep that gun over the corner of the tank. And I thought this was a good example here against the Tiger 131. First shot was APCR, but we can get easily into the side with an AP shot. And then he's going to back around the hill here, so we'll engage him in just 1 second. Obviously this was a losing effort as bottom tier on Hellas in a Supremacy game. I was hoping I could get that shot in there and help get the kill on the Smasher, but you can see here he's come in and penned me. But from the front, it's certainly a pennable tank, and as you can see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to angle so that when he shoots, he actually gets the side of my tank. So I'm trying to get it just a little bit to the right, but he gets that kill shot in there, and we go down in a losing effort just short of 2K. Switching over to Castilla here as top tier in an encounter battle. You know, I feel like I can be pretty aggressive in this tank because it does have decent armor. It's also got decent mobility for a heavy tank. And so I'm going to be aggressive, and I'm going to push up kind of into the middle here, going right on Castilla to the north. But 40 kilometers per hour is your top speed. It does take a little while to get to that top speed. It's actually got less horsepower than the Curo, 12.7 to 13.59. One of the few statistics where it is that's different, really. The Curo's also got 82 millimeters of armor on the side and back, whereas the Tiger 131 has 80. But where it really matters is with the credit coefficient. So 145 here for the 131 and only 94% for the Curo. And this was a kind of an interesting battle, a little bit frustrating, but a close one. And I tell you what, guys, I've just been frustrated so badly by the lack of close games. And what you can see here is I'm using that right edge to increase my gun depression. And now look at these two guys. It's just ridiculous. They're pushing each other, trying to take the spot that I had. And look at this M6. Yeah, we're just gonna look out. We're not gonna shoot. Yeah, we'll just pull up here. We'll take another look around. Still haven't shot. Yeah, so you really don't often see players that are afraid to shoot. Usually they're shooting too much, really. So back up using that right edge to get my gun depression. And here goes the KV-1S. He is not going to do any better at the driving skills as he backs into the staircase there. Now he's up on the side of the building. So I'm sure you can tell by now the direction that this game is headed. We do have 8 degrees of gun depression, which is very good for a German tank, for sure. And just really nice accuracy on this 88 millimeter gun. Alright, so we've got a VK behind us, and now this M6 is not letting us turn around. Look at this guy. Yeah, that's a great way to use your armor. And really, there's nothing we can do here. We can't hide, we can't side scrape, we just have to trade shots. And that's... I don't know why our team didn't stay up on the windmill there and just snipe these guys to death. But you saw there, I got the first shot in with HE. Had I been able to pen the second shot with HE, I still would have needed a third shot. So switch over to AP for the next two. We are down to 35 hit points. AP, the AMX comes around and we lock his turret in place, and he's just going to bounce. So we've got this back now. If we can get the kill shot here. There it is. You know, we're doing all right. We've got almost a full health MT who's rushing in here. Yep, rushing in to save the day. I'm looking for a kill shot. If I can just get one more. Alright, there's the Matilda. And, yeah, good work there, MT. Good work. And, that's all she wrote. Just flummoxed there by how someone can be so bad. We did 2675 damage, 50k. So there you go. Good example of making some credits and doing good damage in this tank. Alright guys, one last game to finish it out. Yamato Harbor. Bottom tier, this is an encounter battle. And I'm not sure what to say about this tank. It's fun to play, especially when you're top tier. But I think you could probably say that for a lot of tanks. The armor's really good, you know, when you're top tier. The accuracy on the gun's really good on the top tier, and the mobility is okay. But let's face it, this is tier 5 and tier 6. And what we've seen in this game since update 5.5 is just stupidity in this game. And I have no other better way to put it than that. You might as well just do whatever you want because there's absolutely no teamwork in this game. You know, just simple things like playing in a supremacy game and knowing you've got all 7 tanks on one side of the map and they're capping the 2 other caps, and they just, your team just sits back and won't push the guys right in front of them. You know, it's just plain as day that you need to do those things, but it just, you can't expect anybody to do anything. So to that end, this is kind of different in the sense that obviously it's the Scorpion G crate that this tank is for offer in right now, and you're getting spare parts for a certificate to get this tank, along with 2 other, the Panzer 58 and the E25. I think if you're extremely lucky, and it seems that their certificates or spare parts or whatever they're calling them for this tank seem to be more in favor of the 131 than the other 2 tanks. And I do know people that have been able to get it with just 5 crates. So that's $10 in keys that you have to spend. Plus, with each one of them, you pretty much guaranteed to get at least 100 gold. So if nothing else, you get 500 gold for $10. It's not a great deal. If you're fortunate, you can get the gold boosters, and that does make it worthwhile. And if you end up with the Scorpion, you know, obviously it's a really nice tank, very difficult to play as it has no armor, but we're able to turn around here and block enough from the MT to get a shot in and finish him off with 5 hit points left. And we're gonna end up now just spamming APCR, but turns out this game is a W, and somehow we managed to stay alive by driving into the middle of the map. But obviously, if you like authentic, realistic tanks, this is obviously a tank that was feared on in World War II. I mean, you know, justifiable or not, there was only like 1,100 of them ever made, but chances of you facing one was probably pretty slim. But they did have an amazing reputation. So um, it is a goal of mine one day to make it to Bonington and get to the museum to see this tank and all the other tanks that they have. Um, but for now, I guess the best I can do is buy some crates or buy some keys to open some crates, I should say. So anyway, nice little tank here, doing some decent damage in it. Certainly winning more than I'm losing in it. Um, and having fun, and that's what it's all about. I have to keep struggling to find different ways to have fun in this game, but there's plenty of ways. So I think it's a good thing that this tank's in the game, and I kind of enjoyed it. So with that, guys, have fun out there. Stay safe. Get educated, not fingered. Littlefinger out.